Independent School District 721 to order. Please note, all board members are here except Matt Goldaddy. So please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we have a couple spotlights on success, and we'll start with Sandy Lind. I just saw her. Oh, there she is.
Just want to introduce Nick Lano. Briefly, he's with Arthur J. Gallagher and the Mist Pool. And we have a rebate coming from some years in the Mist Pool, and I just wanted him to highlight that and give you an update on where we're at with the Mist Pool.
Thank you, Sandy. As Sandy mentioned, my name's Nick Lano, and I'm with Gallagher, or Arthur J. Gallagher, and we are the insurance broker for the district. So we handle the property, liability, and workers' compensation for quite some time now, I think. So back in 2013, for some of the board members that maybe weren't serving at that time, New Prague, along with Gallagher and 6 of your other peer districts, actually formed an insurance cooperative known as MIST, or the Minnesota Insurance Scholastic Trust. And the whole concept behind the program was by banding together with your other peer districts in the state, we would essentially self-insure the smaller claims and then buy insurance for the larger claims. And on years that we performed well as a group, that surplus or that premium that wasn't spent for claims would come back to the members, it's your peers. So what we have here today is back in December of 2021, the MIST board, which Sandy has served on since 2013, actually declared a dividend for the 2014 and 2015 policy year. So with me today is actually a check for $20,152. That's the return surplus for those years. Year to date, or in total, you actually have received $29,398 so far in return surplus. So that equates to about 6% of your overall insurance spend. It's exciting. There's no other program like this in the state of Minnesota. So you are really a pioneer, so to speak, in leading the charge for this great insurance program. There's 26 members year to date in the program. It continues to grow. And we continue to hopefully provide some checks like this in the future. So in total, you have another $100,220 in equity that is allocated right to New Prague District. So hopefully there will be more checks like this to come in the future as well for you all. So.
Yeah, any questions on the Mist Pool concept or anything? Many of you board members weren't on when we did this.
It's great, and I think it also speaks well to the careful usage of the insurance policies as well, not overusage and things like this too. I think we have a lot to say for the people that are covered by it as well, as far as being careful about what they ask for.
Yeah.
And how many, I think that was my first year, how many did we start? How many members were at the beginning?
7.
7, okay, so there were 7.
You're part of the original 7
Okay.
to make this. Yep.
Well, obviously it's been very worthwhile to do something like this, and look forward to working with Gallagher in the future on this.
Yeah.
It's turned out great.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Engelbertson has some highlights from Raven Stream.
Good evening, board members. Mr. Dittberner, thanks for having us tonight. I have a few people with me tonight to share some of the great things that have been going on at Raven Stream this year. One of the things that's important to us at Raven Stream is providing opportunities for our students to be leaders. So I have a couple of our student council representatives here to share about some of the things we've done this year. And then another thing I'd like to share with you is some of the structured ways that we provide academic support for our students. So I have one of our interventionists with us tonight to share with you. So I'm going to turn it over to our student council members.
Okay. Hello, I'm Hayden, and I'm in Miss Simon's 4th grade class. One of the jobs we have as student council representatives. This year, I was assigned to is to share information with other classrooms. This year, I was assigned to Miss Casey's 1st grade and Miss Volker's 3rd grade classrooms. Our student council helped our PIC raise money for all kinds of things at Ravenstream, like Brain Bucket, games and activities to use at the beginning of every day, and to go on field trips like to the Minnesota Zoo. Thanks for letting me share about these things.
Hello, I am Talia, and I am in Miss Workey's 4th grade class. Our student council representatives have been taking turns being guests on our Ravenstream podcast. Each week, we meet with Mr. Ingerbritson to talk about some recent events here at school. We also helped to run a charity fundraiser for Caps for Kids. Students brought $1 or more one day for the chance to wear a hat at school. We raised almost $500 to donate to purchase autographed hats for kids with cancer. Thank you for letting me tell you about the work we've done.
All right, awesome. Let's give 'em
Hi, I'm Lisa Wiener, and I'm one of the interventionists at Ravenstream. I work with students who struggle a little bit more in reading and math and try to help them get caught up to grade level. One of my other roles and responsibilities is I work with the Minnesota Reading Corps teachers or tutors, and I'm their site supervisor. March is National Reading Corps Recognition Month, and so it's a great time to recognize what our Reading Corps people are doing in our elementary schools. In 2003, Serve Minnesota started the Minnesota Reading Corps to blend the resources of America Reading Corps programs with the science of how children learn to read. Today in Minnesota, there are over 800 schools that service over 30,000 students. And we are lucky to have 2 service providers, Tricia Mosberg and Tammy Hoganson at Ravenstream. They provide a very important service to students who struggle with reading. These 2 women are amazing to see in action and the work they're doing for the betterment of our students at Ravenstream. Some fun facts about Reading Corps is it's been part of Ravenstream since 2006. Reading Corps tutors service students in grades K through 3. This year alone, they have impacted 42 of our students. They have successfully exited 11 of our students from their program, and they are currently serving 24 students. In total, they have serviced 30,415 minutes of contact time with students, which is amazing. These kids are making great progress. And next fall, we are approved for 2 MRC reading tutors and 1 math core tutor. And so we're excited to have them join us next fall. And that means we are looking for a math core and a reading core tutor. So anybody out there in the community that is interested in these tutoring positions can contact Ravenstream to get more information, or they can go online to readingandmath.org and look at the application process there. Any questions about Reading Corps? Good. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Lisa. Very good program. And then Talia and Hayden, we got a little something for you here. So if you could come up.
I couldn't see him, so I should be good. Oh, thanks.
Awesome. Hey, I have 2 speakers this evening for open forum. I have Garrett Aikema. Questions regarding the School Climate Task Force?
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak before you tonight. My name is Garrett Ikema. I grew up in a small neighboring town, but I've been a resident of New Prague since 2008 when I married a New Prague graduate. My wife and I are parents to 2 active children who are in 5th and 3rd grade at St. Wenceslaus. I know this climate task force is in its infancy, but I want to bring up some questions for the board, the administration, and the climate group to think about as we go through this process. First question being, do we have the internal resources to see this to where it needs to go? We all know that resources are stretched thin within our schools these days. For the faculty who are part of this committee, should or will any of their other duties be shifted so that the right amount of focus can be given to the climate committee? Does it make sense to bring in an outside third party with experience on matters such as these, dedicated to this committee and working to push it forward? Second question, it was brought up at the last work session, but what are the measurables of this group? How will these measurables be communicated? This can't be done inside a vacuum. There will be people outside of New Prague who want to know what is being done and the progress being made. The measurables need to be communicated. Who will hold the group accountable if the measurables aren't being met? What happens if they aren't being met? Third question, what is the plan to involve St. Wentz in this initiative? St. Wentz is not only a member of our community as a whole, but an important member of the learning community in New Prague. The vast majority of St. Wentz graduates end up being New Prague High School students. If the goal is to start with these initiatives in the elementary and middle schools, it would make sense to get St. Wentz involved as well. For the children of today, for the children of tomorrow, for those within our community of New Prague and those outside of it, we need to get this right. We will not get a second chance with this. Please use the resources that are available to you. There are a lot of people beyond who is going to be on the task force, myself included, that want to help. We are ready to roll up our sleeves and do the work needed to make New Prague a better and more welcoming place for all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Melissa Horish.
Hi, I'm Melissa Horish. I am a parent of a junior at New Prague High School. A few statements stood out to me when I read the email from Superintendent Dittburner on Sunday, March 13th to all of the New Prague area schools' families. What the noise was that was heard that couldn't be determined. The noise appears to be made only by one individual. 20 individuals who were present at the time at the game were interviewed. Only one individual from Robbinsdale School District was interviewed, and this incident could not be substantiated. The email stating the independent investigation results and the timing of it from the district didn't surprise me and quite honestly reminded me of what a delicate situation all of this is. Other statements from the email stood out to me as well. One of which, the findings of this investigation neither negate the lived experiences of Robbinsdale Cooper student athletes and staff, nor does it absolve New Prague area schools of its responsibility to create a culture that does not tolerate inappropriate behavior. Thank you for saying that. And although I'm buoyed by this statement, it should have also used the words racist acts or perceived racist acts instead of inappropriate behavior. Another statement was that it didn't take away from the other incidents that have happened at the high school, which is true. And although I appreciate hearing that statement, I believe it does actually take away from those other incidents because now it's easier for our community and our families to believe that we're not racist and that we don't really need to work on becoming a more accepting, equitable, and safe community for all people. So tonight, I'm here to speak to you and the New Prague area schools community as a cheerleader. I'm a cheerleader for students and staff to keep speaking up and speaking out when they see and hear racist comments. I'm a cheerleader for you as a school board to keep pressuring our schools and to make change and supporting our admin and staff when they do speak up because they are awesome. I'm a cheerleader for the continued change that we are looking to make when we work in the field of anti-racism. And I'm a cheerleader for the students who are experiencing racist actions every day being made towards them, as well as any student who feels picked on or slighted for something they can't change, like their race, their ethnicity, their sexual orientation, or differing abilities. I'll be there to help hold the district accountable for what Superintendent Berner stated in that email. And at the end of the email, he restated the 3-step plan to address the school culture so that these incidents don't continue to happen. 1 was to create a school climate task force to assess the district's needs. 2, to provide professional development for resources and staff, and 3, to work with student leaders. I am so glad that the district is prepared to do this challenging work because it will be hard. There will be people in the community that speak out against it and think that the needed change is not needed and that they'll try to stop what's going on. And we need the district to move forward, and you'll need support from the community for cheerleaders like me. And so I'm happy to work with you. Thanks.
Thank you. And I have a motion to approve our agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 6-0. Approval for the consent agenda.
So move. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes 6-0. Policy Committee.
No meeting.
Southwest Metro.
Southwest Metro met last week, and the highlight of the meeting was a very thorough report on our financial situation at Southwest Metro, and overall it looks very good. We have our finances in great shape, and things are looking very good at Southwest Metro.
And CPAC?
CPAC, we did not have a meeting, but in the last couple of weeks, we have had a speaker that was presenting on a topic that was near and dear to a lot of people's hearts when it comes to special services for children, and I believe it was quite well received. So I'm happy that we were able to sponsor that.
I can't spell. Community education?
We met a couple weeks ago. A couple of the things that were talked about is they're in need of daytime lifeguards was one thing for the aquatic center. The Arts Council received a $3,000 grant from Prairie Lake Regional Arts Council to help fund music at the Bras. And they're doing 6 concerts this summer starting June 30th, Thursday night, 6:30 to 8:30. The, what was the other? The brochure will be coming out, it's already online, but it'll be coming out April 1st, so we should be getting it in the mail, people that get it in the mail, very shortly. And they'll be bringing back Dozinki Days this year for the first time in a few years of not having it.
Wellness Committee, no meeting?
No meeting.
Early Childhood, no meeting? And Matt's not here for the joint powers, so we are to Superintendent Berner. Good
All
news.
right. Well, first off, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate Mark Blockhart, who's our middle school technology education teacher. He was just recently recognized nationally a Teacher Excellence Award from the International Technology and Engineering Educators Association. So this is a fantastic recognition for Mark. We're very proud to have him on our staff and for doing such a great job. So technology and engineering education, of course, is very important in our school district, especially at the middle school, and he does a great job. So congratulations to Mark Lockhart. The other thing I'd want to mention too, Janelle Kirsch, part of the consent agenda. She's our Director of Community Services. People that don't know that, she's one of the first hires I made when I got the job 9 years ago, and she's been wonderful to work with, overseeing all of our community education, preschool, RAP, Just everything that she's done is done a great job, and she's been a great leader. So we're going to miss her and wish her best in retirement. And the final thing, in regards to the application deadline for our school district task force was last Friday. People will be informed on April 11th or before if they're on that task force, and then their first meeting will be later in April. So we did get quite a few. I don't have the exact number with me, but we had a lot of applications for this task force. So a lot of people that want to help out and support this cause. So just want to give you an update on that. That's all I got.
Perfect. For action items, we have the review for radon testing report.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
This is something new. I don't think any of you have seen before. It's nothing new to the operations and facilities departments. But MDH is now requiring that we present radon testing results to the board, and they need to be reviewed by the board. So this is the first time we've done this with you. I'm not going to go through the whole report. It's pages upon pages, but every 5 years we have to check all of our buildings for radon. And what that means is, for an example here, is Falcon Ridge. We place 78 radon detection devices throughout the building, and we leave them there for a period of days. We notify staff before we do this so they don't get weirded out when they see these little things hanging all over the building. They're real small little electronic devices. As a result of that, we got the results back, and everything was well below the recommended levels with the state. So if anybody has any questions about that, this is something we have done. We weren't required to do it by the state, but now we are. And along with lead and water testing and things like that, they require us to do. We've always done it, but it is mandated, so it does need to be as part of the board minutes so that we can send it to MDH.
Is it required of all schools?
Pardon me?
Is it required of all schools to do this?
All public schools, yep. Yep. And we'll do this every 5 years periodically. We'll pick another school in 5 years and just keep
So it
going.
doesn't have to be every school?
Nope, not every year. Nope.
Then, is there waiver criteria for this or not?
There what?
Waiver criteria?
No.
Because it's like Falcon Ridge, for example, is slab on grade with nothing penetrating the ground.
Right.
It's,
Doesn't make any difference. Actually, the only building we really have with a basement is the high school now. This one does too, but we've never seen any of the results of radon ever in our buildings, ever since I've been here in 20 years. So.
somebody would have to bring it in, I think.
Gotta bring it in.
Any other questions?
Tough to see.
We getting money for this?
No, it's paid for through health and safety.
I know, I'm just kidding.
COVID relief.
There we go.
And the next thing, you go ahead, you can.
Then we've got the Columbus Avenue Falcon Ridge crosswalk update. Right?
Yeah, I just want to show this map. A couple weeks ago at the work session, I presented this, and Columbus Avenue is going to be getting rebuilt this summer, repaved. They're going to do some curb work. They're going to do some new sidewalks. And as part of this project, I asked the city to look into the possibility of adding a crosswalk in front of Falcon Ridge to connect the Heritage Estates development to that school. And this is a diagram of it. This is the front of the building. You can see they bump out actually narrow the road down to about 14 feet where that crossing is going to go. And we will build, or they will build, 2 sidewalks running down the hill to join into our existing sidewalks there. Part of the reason we wanted to do this, and I thought it was a real good idea, and I talked to Tim before, you know, I did ask for this. We would like to see that Heritage Estates become a walking neighborhood to that school. And what that means is right now, I think that right now we have about 55, 56 kids in that development that would qualify as walkers if we remove this hazard of Columbus Avenue with that crosswalk. We will post crossing guards if this is what we decide to do. I'm not presenting it for any approval tonight. I just want to make everybody aware that this is something we're looking at. Could be part of a soft budget reduction for us. We could possibly eliminate a bus route in that neighborhood. Comes with a cost, you know, half a route is about $40,000. We could do 2 routes, you know, an elementary, high school, it could be a possible reduction of about $80,000 per year. But we have to make sure it's a safe crosswalk. And I do believe the way they have it designed, it will be. The city's fine with it. The engineers I worked with on it, we're all positive about it. And I haven't talked to the neighborhood. I do know that a lot of parents at Falcon want their kids to walk to school. And not all of them, but a lot do. So we will see how it goes this summer. It'll be complete by around the end of July. And we'll get an approval or a recommendation, either way.
Would a decision need to be made by the school board on this?
We would need time to post those crossing guard jobs, so I would say right upon completion, mid-July, whenever the board meeting might be in July.
All right.
And then we can, because that's when we begin our routing process as well. This would also increase the amount of walkers to the high school and the middle school.
All right. We're going to have to figure out some sort of communication too with all those families that are affected earlier than that, but just give them an idea of the possibility of it.
Anybody have any questions about that?
Who's responsible for the signage on that road? Is that the city?
We are. We are.
Okay, good.
Yeah. For the crossing itself,
Well, just everything, the posted speed limit, the,
city's responsible
That's
for those.
city.
Anything that has to do with this crosswalk is the signage will be our responsibility. to
okay.
pay for.
Do you know if they're planning to choke down the speed some?
They are not.
Do you have any?
40-mile-an-hour zone.
Yes, it is.
That's the reason they decided to narrow it down, to slow that traffic down when they get there. I have asked for, you know, speed limit signs when kids are present. But I haven't heard back from them. I don't know if they're gonna approve that or not. So, yeah, that's a good question, but anything tied to the crosswalk itself will be our
Okay.
responsibility. We did the same thing at the middle school for the crosswalks where the old tennis courts were, and we did the same thing for the one in front of the middle school.
Getting good with the city.
Paid for all those parking signs out here too. So, any other questions?
We would only need to have the crosswalk people at that intersection though? Or would we?
No, we're gonna create another crosswalk in our bus loop to cross there as well, so we'll have 2.
Okay.
We'll have 2.
So the elementary school is the only one that's, I mean, if people are walking to the middle school or the high school,
We won't have them for that. We would have them for, right now the plan is to have them for the elementary age.
Right,
Because, just
right.
basically because of the age group.
right,
Should be able
But-
to trust high schoolers
Well-
to cross the road.
really?
I don't know. Never know.
I actually, you know, as part of the project, I thought they would build a sidewalk on that east side of Columbus to get down that way, and they're not doing that. So,
Is that something we can do or not?
we already own the other one sidewalk on the west side. I don't know if, we could. We'd have to get an easement. It's an easement process with the city. But that's not, it wouldn't be part of this project anymore.
No,
It's
they should
it's
all
too late
cross
to
in the
do it.
same place. Get on the west side.
Yeah.
Get on one side and.
Leo will be our liaison for Heritage. But you live there, right?
I got a shovel and a wheelbarrow.
Anything else?
No, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
Great. That brings us to a resolution establishing combined polling places.
Okay. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to consider the resolution. A
Second.
Move it and second and consider the following resolution, establishing combined polling places for multiple precincts and designating hours during which the polling places will remain open for voting for school district elections not held on the day of a statewide election. And the sites are St. Patrick Social Hall in Jordan, Minnesota, Elko New Market City Hall in Elko New Market, Immaculate Conception Church Civic Center in Lonsdale, Wheatland Town Hall in Vesely, New Prague Fitness and Aquatic Center in New Prague, Minnesota. And the hours of the polling would be from 7 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. How do you vote on this resolution, Leo?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Jean?
Yes.
Dennis, yes. Item passes 6-0.
So then a resolution to accept a donation from Terry Arco family.
Actually, we have two resolutions, and the resolutions are identical except for the amounts. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to consider the resolutions dealing with the acceptance of donations from the Terry Arco family and from the New Prague Emergency Medical Services.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to consider the following resolution. Whereas the school board may accept a gift valued at $1,000 or more only by adoption of a resolution by 2/3 of its members. Whereas the Terry Arco family wishes to donate a Kawai piano to the district for the high school music department without any conditions. And for the donation from the New Prague Emergency Medical Services, the item would be $3,000 donation to the district for the high school family and consumer education class for the Baby Think It Over program. How do you vote on these, Leo?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Jean?
Yes.
Dennis, yes. Items passed. Thank you.
Approval of the master agreement for the 2021-2023 with Clerical Association. Hi, Sandy.
Hi. I can just make a couple of overall comments on all the contracts that we have to approve tonight.
Okay.
Negotiations went, excuse me, very well. I mean, they were a little bit maybe tougher than they have in the past just because of all the issues with turnover, trying to recruit new people in some of these groups, and just the, you know, the level of stress and so forth that was involved with the pandemic. I think you've seen in the news that there are quite a few troublesome areas, schools that are having with negotiations with their non-certified staff. Overall, each group got an increase in insurance in both year 1 and year 2. And they got an across-the-board rate increase, and 3 of the groups got a small retention bonus to try to keep people around. The turnover in custodians, nutrition services, and paras is quite high, and 1 payment will be at the end of this school year, 1 payment on November 1st, 2022, to try to retain these people and to reward those people that did stay. We increased longevity a little bit for each of these groups. It was pretty low and hadn't been adjusted for quite some time. That is really the changes in all of these groups, and just ask for your approval of these contracts as we've discussed during the closed sessions.
And this takes care of our contracts now for this period.
Just the MOUs left, and I have them done, and we'll present those in April.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so any further discussion, questions? Okay, approval for the master agreement for the Clerical Association.
I move to accept.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 6-0. Approval for the master agreement and MOU for custodial staff.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes 6-0. Approval for master agreement and MOU for nutrition services.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 6-0. Approval for master agreement and MOU with certified speech pathology assistants, CSPA building nurses and paraprofessionals.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 6-0. And these are all for the 2021-2023. I'm just, because I'm not saying it all, sorry. Approval for the master agreement with transportation staff.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 6-0. Whew.
That it?
That's it.
Okay, thank
We
you.
did it. All right. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?